Hello, at the jail. Can I have your name, please? Oh, you're muted.
Kendrick McBride.
You're Kendrick McBride?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to go to the front behind.
Okay. Now calling case number 2. Oh, actually, first, this 14B District Court is now in session. This is Magistrate Hilary Braley presiding. Now calling case number 24S00120. This is the State of Michigan versus Kendrick McBride. Appearances for the record, please, starting with the attorney.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Mr. McBride. And Mr. McBride, if you could just say your full name one more time.
Kendrick Sharon McBride.
Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. These are all show causes except this one. Okay. This is also the date and time set for an arraignment in the matter of 24W000440B, which is the Township of Ypsilanti versus Kendrick McBride. So, Attorney Plumai, will you be representing him for that as well?
Yes, Your Honor, but I did not receive any information on that file. So when we get to it.
So, starting with the State of Michigan case, excuse me, ending in 120. What I have is a misdemeanor complaint that alleges that on or about March 25th of 2024, at 9200 Charlotte Court in Ypsilanti, you did make an assault or assault and battery upon Leslie Ann Thomas, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, ma'am.
That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that potential penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Count 2 alleges that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Malachi Thomas. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is also a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that potential penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I know we sent over an advice of rights form. Did you have a chance to review it?
Not at the moment. Not. No, I didn't. I did a chance.
You have the following basic rights. You have the right to remain silent, as anything that you say, whether out loud or in writing, can be used against you. You have the right to a trial by judge or by jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent beyond a reasonable doubt. And you have the right to be represented by an attorney through these court proceedings, and that is why the public defender is here. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of them?
No.
Okay. Now, regarding the matter ending in 440B, this is a traffic citation dated February 9th, 2024 that charges that you did operate a motor vehicle on Huron River Drive at or near Whitaker Road while your license was suspended, revoked, or denied. Do you understand that charge? Okay. That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Attorney Plumai, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. McBride is a local resident. He's living with his grandmother in Ann Arbor. He's also employed full-time and has full custody of his 16-year-old and his 2-year-old, whom he cares for and supports financially. The alleged victim here is his fiance, and her son, so not a child that they have in common. She and her son do not live with Mr. McBride. They have their own place in Ypsilanti. I did explain all of the standard domestic violence bond conditions. He does understand those and will be able to comply. They don't live together and there's no reason for contact at this point. So I would just ask for a personal bond with standard domestic violence conditions. And with regards to the driving while license suspended based on the nature of the charge, I would also ask for a personal bond on that.
So.
Pre-trial in both of these matters is going to be set for April 1st. That will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington.
Okay.
Regarding the driving while license suspended, the court will set a PR bond in that matter. I will note that there are a number of other.
Yeah, I got some driving, some tickets. I gotta
Yes.
take those tickets.
Those are, and I'm not going to call every single one of them at this point. I will note that you have a balance, which is not going to be the total at this point, but of $2,956. I am going to adjourn all these to the April 1st date as well. Now, regarding the state matter ending in 120, I am going to set bond with the following conditions. Within 24 hours of your release, you are to report to community corrections for drug and alcohol testing. You will need $12 and a photo ID. Do you know where community corrections is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to go to the address of 9200 Charlotte Drive. And when the court says do not go, the court does not care if you are personally invited to return, you do not go. If you have any personal items that you need to collect from that address, you may do so on a civil standby. Attorney Plumey, have you already explained a civil standby?
Mr. McBride, what you'll do is if you need to get anything from there, just call the police and tell them you need a civil standby. They'll meet you there.
Okay.
But don't go there without the police.
I'm not gonna go at all.
Okay.
I'm not gonna contact them.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So you are not to have contact with Leslie Ann Thomas or Malachi Thomas. And when the court says no contact, what the court means is no first person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact via telephone, through phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form, or through third parties. You are not to assault, threaten, harass, intimidate, molest, stalk, or otherwise bother Leslie Ann Thomas or Malachi Thomas or anyone else. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. And you are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. So that includes the April 1st court date over Zoom. That also includes going to community corrections within 24 hours of your release. Now, regarding the bond, in the interest of ensuring your appearance at the next court date and in the interest of public safety, given the nature of the allegations, I am at this time setting bond at
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. There's no reason.
$15,000, 10% is allowed. Attorney Plumey.
So she set the bond at $15,000, 10%, which means you'd have to post $1,500 to get out today. But your next hearing is on Monday, so we can address bond again at that hearing with the judge.
Yeah, because I got because I have my job and my two children at home. Like I'm not going to bother nobody. I just need to make it home to my children and my job.
Attorney Plumey.
Please.
At this point, since the magistrate has made her decision, there's nothing that we can do, but we will address it on Monday when you see the judge. We can ask her to consider amending your bond.
Is there any way I can get like a tether instead of paying the bond? Like a GPS tether instead of paying the bond?
No, at this time, this hearing is concluded. You are free to stand up and tell the jail that you are finished.
Okay. All right, thank you. Take care.
Okay, sir, at the jail, can I have your name, please?
Lee Evangelist.
I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay, now calling case number 24S00119. This is the State of Michigan versus Lee Evangelist. Appearances for the record, please, starting with Attorney Plumai.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Evangelist. Mr. Evangelist, could you just say your full name one more time?
Lee Evangelist.
Okay, thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment. In this matter, what I have is a misdemeanor complaint that charges that on or about March 23rd of 2024 on I-94 and Michigan Avenue, you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Elena Mason, an individual with whom you have a child in common and or a resident or former resident of your household and or a person with whom you have or had a dating relationship. This is otherwise known as domestic violence. Do you understand that charge?
Yes.
That is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, a $500 fine with court costs, or both. Do you understand that potential penalty?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And did you have a chance to review an advice of rights form this afternoon?
Not at the moment, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay, well, to be clear, you have the following basic rights. You have the right to remain silent, as anything you say, whether orally or in writing, can be used against you. You have the right to a trial by judge or by jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent beyond a reasonable doubt. And you have the right to be represented by an attorney at all stages of these court proceedings. And that is why Attorney Plumai is here. Do you understand all those?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of them?
No.
Okay, thank you. Attorney Plumai, do you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Evangelist is a local resident. He lives in Taylor, Michigan, by himself. The alleged victim in this complaint is someone whom he shares children with. They have 2 young children and another on the way, but they do not live together. He lives by himself with his 15-year-old son, whom he cares for and supports financially. He is employed full-time as a machine operator and has had that job for the past 14 years. I am just asking for standard domestic violence bond conditions here, as well as a personal bond, but would add that if there could be a caveat so that Mr. Evangelist could go through a third party to exchange his young children with the complaining witness, that would be greatly appreciated. They do share childcare responsibilities.
Okay, thank you. So the address that I have listed on here for the no-go is the same as what's listed as his address, the Chrysler Street in Taylor.
Mr. Evangelist, is there an apartment number?
It's a townhouse.
Okay.
Mine or hers?
Well, my question is, does she live with you?
No, she stays like a 3-minute walk from me. So we both got the same street but different addresses.
And your address is the 23770?
Correct.
So, first, your pretrial conference date is going to be April 8th. That will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington. And I will set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are not to purchase or possess a firearm, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to have contact with Elena Mason. And when the court says no contact, what the court means is no first person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact over the phone, via phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form. You may have consensual third-party contact for the purposes of childcare. Those third parties are not to discuss the case. You are not to go to Ms. Mason's address on Chrysler Street. Which I have is 23828. So you are not to go there. And when the court says do not go, the court does not care if you are personally invited to return. You do not go. If you have any personal belongings there that need to be picked up, then you may do so on a civil standby. That means that the police would escort you to and from the property. If you need further explanation, Attorney Plumai can provide that. You are not to assault, threaten, harass, intimidate, molest, or stalk Ms. Mason or anyone else. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. And you are to report for any and all dates set for you by the court, the next one being that April 8th court date. At this time, the court is going to set a $10,000 personal recognizance bond. Attorney Plumai, if you can explain.
So what that means, Mr. Evangelist, is that you're being given a personal bond right now, so you don't have to pay any money to be released from the jail. But if you violate your bond conditions, or if you don't come for your next court date, which will be over Zoom, then your bond would start at $10,000 from that point.
I understand.
Okay.
So at this time, if you don't have any questions for the court, and Attorney Plumai, if you don't have anything else.
I have
Then-
one question, one request maybe. We have a baby that's going to be due. It's due May 9th, but last Monday, we were in the hospital all night due to complications of maybe her having a baby early. So I believe any time from today, maybe between now and then, I was wondering if I could have some type of way of being there for the birth. It's a complicated situation, I know, but you know, I would like to be there for the birth of my baby. I think if some way you can all reach out to her, I think she may say yes to that, but I don't know because I haven't spoke to her since yesterday. So, and I don't plan on making any contact because I don't want to violate anything.
Yeah. Okay. So as stated, consensual third-party contact is acceptable for the purposes of childcare. For the purposes of finding out whether or not she's willing to have you there before the birth, the third parties can communicate that as well and communicate it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mr. Evangelist, just so you know, if you have someone ask for you and she says no, that means no, unfortunately.
I
So it's
understand
only if
totally.
she says yes.
I totally understand.
Okay.
Then, if there's nothing else, this hearing is concluded. You're free to stand up and tell the jail that you're finished.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
You have a key, leave it.
See the history. And are you Ms. Gibbs?
Yes, ma'am.
You. Now calling case number 23FB1198. This is the state of Michigan versus Shatia Gibbs. Appearances for the record, starting with the attorney, please.
Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Alexis Plumai appearing with and on behalf of Miss Gibbs. And Miss Gibbs, if you could state your full name one more time for the record.
Shatia Gibbs.
Okay, thank you. Today is the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter. What I am seeing is that a bench warrant was issued after you failed to appear for a sentencing hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Plumai.
Yes, Your Honor, and our office had previously conflicted out of this case, so she was being represented by appointed counsel on this, and I was unable to get in touch with that attorney, but what Ms. Gibbs tells me is that she was in touch with her attorney on the 21st, the day that she was supposed to be sentenced. She was unable to get a ride to the court. It's my understanding that her attorney explained this to Judge Washington, but was unable to get an adjournment, and instead a bench warrant was issued. Ms. Gibbs is a local resident. She does have children at home whom she is worried about and would like to get back to take care of. She stated that the failure to appear was solely due to her not being able to secure a ride, but she will make sure that she does so in advance in the future. She also stated that she would be willing to go on either a GPS tracking tether or a home confinement tether if she were given a personal bond. At this point, her primary concern is just getting back to take care of her kids.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Attorney Plumai.
Just so long as it's not about the underlying case. If it's about why you failed to appear, then that's okay if you have something to add.
It's about why I failed to appear.
Okay, sure.
I didn't have a ride. I haven't missed no court dates my whole case. I did have warrants. I cleared them up the day before because I didn't want to have them once I got sentenced. I had a child support warrant and I had restitution for the 15th District Court. And I did walk in on them the day before. My whole time of being on this case, I have not missed one court date, but that court date, I usually be on Zoom, but I had to come in person and I don't have a vehicle. I thought that I had everything figured out the night before. But when the day came, my ride reneged. I was in contact with my lawyer the whole time.
Thank you.
And when I got picked up last night, I'm the one that called the police.
Okay, so your new sentencing date is going to be April 2nd. And that will be at 9 a.m. over Zoom in front of Judge Washington.
Your Honor.
And at this time, the no bond as ordered by the judge is being continued. So bond is being denied at this time.
Okay.
Attorney Plumai, do you have anything else?
Ms. Gibbs will be able to address bond again with the judge on Tuesday at your sentencing.
Okay.
This hearing is concluded. You are free to stand up and tell the jail that you are finished.
Thank you.